Hey Bulldogs, I'm Carmen Sotlet, and welcome to our December edition of Code Blue News. As the year comes to an end, we take a look back to August when Naya shows us the role of the Registry of Deeds. Then, Marco introduces us to an HMHS alumni who didn't let Earth's gravity hold down her aerospace dreams. After that, we plan on lifting your spirits as Emma shares a story on persevering through a major setback. Next, Justin gives us a look inside one of Boston's favorite book nooks. And to close out our show, Anthony connects us to a restaurant that caters to its customers this holiday season. So sit tight as we're about to delve deeper into these stories, right here on Code Blue News.
Treats, it's a miracle that they find the perfect home for them to live their fullest life.
As the cold weather rolls in, we are reminded that a place to live is imperative during the cold New England winters. Finding a home may be thrilling for some. However, many of us may not know much about the process that comes with the ownership. Whether you're buying your first house or researching the history behind a piece of land, the Norfolk Registry of Deeds is just the place to find out more.
In the beginning of August, Norfolk County Registrar William P. O'Donnell visited the Holbrook Council of Aging to discuss the Registry of Deeds. His presentation gave insight on the functions and services that the registry provides.
The Norfolk Registry of Deeds has been around since 1793. So all land records get recorded at the Norfolk Registry of Deeds for the 28 towns. What we try to do, we try to protect the records so that when lawyers get involved, when these houses get sold, they got to make sure that the records are protected, that they're accurate, that they're kept in order. We get invited out, and as part of our community outreach program, we go to the cities and towns around Norfolk County. We go to the town halls and have office hours there. You're young, but if you're 18 years old and you own a house, you have a right to get a homestead. So we talk about a homestead, which is a way to protect your principal residence. There was an article in the Boston Herald.
I'm the sole owner of my house. It helped me more than words can explain, because since I'm a widow, everything he said about the mortgage and the Homestead Act was very good for me because I didn't know anything.
There are 21 registries in Massachusetts. Norfolk County, Holbrook's part of Norfolk County, we are the second busiest registry in the state. What makes it important is the biggest asset most people have is your house. And that's what the registry deals with, and that's what these documents deal with. It's the legal title to your home.
I was thinking of selling, and then I thought, why should I sell it? I have no mortgage, and I only have to pay the taxes. So in effect, I'm living almost free. But since I attended this program, I'm more informed about what options I have if I do plan to sell in the future.
It's been great to learn more about the Registry of Deeds. I'm sure this information will come in handy in the future when I plan on buying my own house. You can find more information at www.norfolkdeeds.org. This has been Zanaya De Silva reporting.
It's fascinating to see how much work happens behind the scenes in the real estate process. And even though I'm years away from thinking about buying my first house, I can at least begin to wrap my head around the complexity of it now. As complex as finding a home here can be, imagine how complicated it is to explore the next frontier. One of our alumni is playing a significant role exploring the moon, which could lead to the next real estate boom.
While Holbrook Middle High School is home to many victorious individuals and alumni, one in particular is shooting for the stars and has recently been working on one of her biggest accomplishments yet.
My name is Hung Annie Vo. I grew up in Quincy, Massachusetts first. 4th grade to 11th grade, I lived in Holbrook. Most of my childhood memories is in Holbrook. And during that time as a kid, every time I liked something, enjoyed something, my mom just let us enjoy, like me and my brother, just like do whatever. So I always loved stars because I thought they were cool. But then I thought they were more than that. So I was very intrigued with that growing up. So I just kept being fascinated by space and the planets and everything. So my mom got me the telescopes, helped me with science projects and everything, books and whatever. My first job is Firefly Aerospace, which is here. So I've been here for about 8 years now. Essentially what I do on the daily is I test the hardware, software, and all the components that go onto the lander. I started with doing rocket engine development testing, a lot of design work before that, before we had the hardware. All the individual components that go on into it all get tested at some point to make sure that it's validated, it works together, it works as expected, send it back to NASA so that they could do the next mission and iterate so that eventually when we get to the point of we're ready for manned missions to the moon, we have enough science to understand the current atmosphere, the environment, and what's there. So it's just like Earth and all the humans on there could understand what's happening there so that we could build better technology to get to space, to get to the moon, or go further if we need to. And so I would tell the students to always just reach for the stars, and you reach for something that you enjoy. You never know what you could do, and like life sometimes could just keep trying to push you down, or like you're going against the grain, you have a lot of friction, but there's still so much that could happen if you don't give up on yourself and you always just invest in yourself.
As Annie strives in her craft, it is inspiring to see how much one can impact the world. For CBN, I'm Marco Santini, reporting.
It's truly amazing how an alumni from our small school can achieve feats that are quite literally out of this world. It is also a nice reminder that with the right combination of determination and passion, anything is possible. As we come back down to earth, the weight of the world can occasionally be too much to overcome. But one Holbrook resident shows us that adversity is never the end of the journey.
It's going to stay there for the rest of my life. It's still in there to this day, and I can't get it removed. My name's Ashley Tran. I'm 24 years old, and I've been powerlifting for a little bit over 3 years. Powerlifting just allowed me to be an athlete, being able to push myself physically and mentally outside of school and work.
Well, before she was diagnosed, we had a screening in school. The nurse sent Tom a note, make an appointment with the doctor, just noting that her spine was curved. The doctor did check it out and say that she does have mild scoliosis, but just gonna monitor it for now and see how it progresses.
Scoliosis is the curvature of the spine. It's a hereditary disease. I do have some members of my family who also have scoliosis as well. For me, mine was a bit more extreme. At first, it was very minimal. It just seemed like my shoulders were a bit uneven, or like my upper back wasn't very aligned with my hips.
The next year when she went back for her physical, she recommended to bring Ashley to a specialist, an orthopedic. And so we make an appointment to see a specialist. Going to monitor and see how it changes through the course of time.
After a course of a couple months, my spine was curving at a higher rate. So it jumped up to a 45-degree curvature. If I were to wear a brace at this point, I would be stuck with like a 45-degree curve, but it was also not just like a regular like S curve, it was also like rotating a bit. And so if we let it keep growing and the rotation of the spine kept happening, my ribs would also rotate, and that would end up crushing like my lungs and other organs. The best bet at this point to stop that from happening was to get spinal fusion. They physically straightened out my spine, my whole thoracic spine, which means from the bottom of my neck down to my lower back. And then they put 2 titanium rods next to my spine and screwed it in. The nurses and doctors coming in to help me do tasks that I am usually able to do on my own, which is uncomfortable, but I knew it wasn't going to be like that forever. But you can feel the stiffness when it comes to moving around, getting up from bed, walking. It makes it really hard not to compare myself.
During COVID, Ashley was just kind of bored. She wanted to know what to do, so she joined powerlifting.
I started powerlifting more as a hobby, and then once I realized I was a bit competitive, I decided to sign up for my first meet, and at this point I have competed from local to national meets. I just competed at Raw Nationals in Salt Lake City, Utah, and there I squatted 150 50 kilos, which is 330 pounds. Deadlifted 190 kilos, which is 412 pounds. So I totaled 407.5 kilos, which is an all-time PR at 56 kilo body weight.
You have like 16 screws there, you know, how can you do powerlifting? Everything just like so normal. I was like, you are not normal. You have 2 rods in the back, you know, in your spine.
I am able to surpass all the limitations that I thought I had against me growing up, physically and mentally. Something like scoliosis and going through surgery wasn't able to hold me back.
Rising above the challenges that life throws at you is undoubtedly a testament to the human spirit, and stories like Ashley's never fail to inspire me on my journey as a journalist. As a storyteller, I always love to read a good book, but finding the right bookstore has been increasingly more difficult. Living in a world of modern technology, people can lose sight of the tangible aspects of life. Thankfully, though, small mom and pop shops still exist in the world of online shopping.
Located outside the Boston Common, most bookstores are out with the old and in with the new, but many people can agree that the Brattle Bookshop welcomes all decades with open arms.
So the Brattle Bookshop was founded in 1825. It got its name from Brattle Street, which used to be in Boston, and that's the street where the shop originally was. And obviously it's grown from there to be certainly one of the oldest continuously running bookstores in the country.
With 3 floors of diverse literature, the options are endless. Not only are there a broad range of genres,
Outside, the price ranges are perfect for people with a tight budget.
I like how random everything is and kind of scattered around, so you can really just, you know, lose yourself for like 15 minutes and just find something new for yourself. Like I found a book of Greek poetry, and since there's not much, you know, like literary sites in the city, there's so many cool authors that used to live here. So yeah, when I spot like a poetry book here, that's always interesting.
I'm visiting, so I come from a place that doesn't have like a ton of like old books, and I think the out of print books are why I came here, especially paperback books that are out of print. Like, you know, I found this like science fiction book and it's like $7. That's crazy. And it's one of the first novels from this author. Not all these books are like in the most perfect condition, and I think that like that philosophy is not in every bookstore you go to. I mean, you go to big box stores and if a cover is creased, you know, they're like discounting it or not selling it. I hope that this bookstore stays around for as long as possible because this is like amazing. I mean, it's a treasure trove of books.
When it comes to people who share a passion for books, the kind staff over at the Brattle Bookshop ensure that they can find a common ground and leave the store with a story worth reading. That's all from me. I'm Justin Rochelle, reporting.
From the whimsical tales of fantasy novels to the memoirs of the past, the Brattle offers something for any reader to enjoy. Personally, I need a nice hot cup of coffee while curled up on the couch before I can pick up my book, though. Thankfully for me, I recently heard about a quaint cafe tucked away here in town, and their Christmas specials perfectly suited my needs.
During this time of year, whether you like to stay warm or brave the cold, the Connection Cafe is a small business where all your drink needs are met.
I love our customers. We have very nice customers here. Everyone is very easy. I feel that a lot of people do get coffee a lot, hot chocolates as well, but I do feel like we sell a lot of hot drinks during the winter. Right now we have a Christmas special drinks. We have like peppermint mimosa, we have a French knock, which has like cotton candy, and our freshly squeezed orange juice is definitely a cold drink favorite. It's very cold, and it's very refreshing too. It has ice.
I love how they get into the holiday season. The decorations are really inviting. They're playing holiday music. It just feels like a fun and festive place to visit. The coffee is always hot and fresh. I like the flavors. My son had a really decadent looking hot chocolate with piled high with whipped cream and chocolate sauce. My daughter had the cotton candy lemonade, so that was a special treat to have cotton candy on top of her drink. I think this is a great restaurant, a great addition to Holbrook, and the service is always very friendly.
If you like iced coffee or hot chocolate, you can get it both at the Connections Cafe. For CBN, I'm Anthony Civis reporting.
Cheers to you too, Anthony. This cold weather is the perfect time to try out one of their hot chocolates, with extra whipped cream, of course. Well, that is all that we have for you this month. I hope you enjoyed another look behind some of the things happening in our community. For Code Blue News, this has been Carmen Sotlet, and we'll see you next month.